Welcome back to the Beagle Bee, and we left you at a unsuspecting turn. If you watched our last video, and I'll try to get a screenshot or a picture of it here for you, we managed to bend a rudder in Myers Hole in the Barnegat Light area. If I could also get it up, I'll get a picture of Navionics of the general area we were when this occurred. And now video, Sean. Let's come back to real-time, Sean, for just a moment. And we were talking about where we bent that rudder in Barnegat Inlet. So, as you can tell, here's the inlet right here. You got to be very careful. You obviously want to be to the north side here of this inlet. There's some known shoaling and some nasty ground here about the middle of this inlet. But coming in, it's relatively uneventful. Once you're around the corner, there's a very well-marked channel. And then you come through, and then you tuck away right here in this area right here. This, there we go. Let's zoom in. Right here, in this little area, Myers Hole. Now, when you come through here, you're going to have some private docks here to the left. And then you're also going to see some mooring balls just to the north of those as well. My understanding is those are people that have created mooring balls in the past, and they're private, but they're not official. I've seen boats attached to them. I wouldn't recommend using them. But the unfortunate part about private mooring balls is people use anything and everything to sink them and to hold them to the bottom. So when we were coming back out of Myers Hole here the next day, our rudder, which we are a wing kill, so our rudder hangs just a little lower than our keel does, got caught up on something and immediately just snatched it back once the pressure got enough to overcome the rudder post. So that is where that happened. Be on the lookout if cruisers. Do not transit or be very careful here in this area at Myers Hole. The holding is good from an anchor perspective, but just know what you're getting into, especially in some shallower water as you work the inlet. It's an unfortunate event that happened, but it sent us to Silver Cloud Harbor and Marina to get a new rudder installed. And unfortunately, just due to the chaos of that event, we don't have a lot of footage. But what we do have is going back into the water. So we'll cut to a clip of that happening. Again, really unfortunate event, but it led us to a lot of really cool people. And by that I mean kind and generous folks who were very eager to allow us to be there and stay as long as we needed to get the boat right. So once the boat was back on the hard and waiting on parts, we were working on moving. And you're going to see a couple clips here of us kind of loading up and some of the last things we were doing there before we left. So we're officially homeless now, and we've got to also meet the boat in Barnegat. We had some engine issues, the same issues we pretty much had the entire time we've owned the boat. They kind of flared back up in a really big way. But ultimately we elected to stay in the Barnegat Light area for a couple days. The weather was really not in our favor to make a jaunt down the New Jersey coast. And if you're a cruiser, you probably already know that cruising down the New Jersey coast this last September and October was just not ideal. It was really messy, sloppy, not great weather windows, and a lot of gales. So we stayed at one of Silver Cloud's marinas just up the Forked River from where the boat was actually repaired. Lisa's got a bunch of clips there. How did we manage to live during that time? Grocery delivery and all sorts of other stuff. Got to get the dog off the boat and let the baby play a little bit and all these other things while we hung around the Forked River area for a couple days. So I'll play those now for you.
So I think one of the things we needed that we really didn't realize we needed was the Walmart Plus. Albeit, I would much rather shop Aldi's. I like their stuff better. Walmart Plus has been a lifesaver for us because with the membership it's like $13 a month. You get free delivery for your stuff over $35. We've been in New Jersey now for 4 days, and I think we've used it 3 times getting stuff because we've had to fix some stuff on the boat, needed to provision more. It has been an absolute lifesaver. So I highly recommend that to anybody that doesn't necessarily have a car, but obviously living on a boat. Get the Walmart Plus stuff, man. It's awesome. It is so cool. They just bring you your stuff. I meet them at our clubhouse. Not clubhouse. I meet them at the office center. Yeah, I just meet them at the office center, and they come, they bring us our stuff. I bring our cart with me. I don't know if you can see it. A couple reusable bags, and load up and head right back to the boat. It's been awesome. And just like that, I have my groceries. And Walmart was cool and gave me some free bags, so we'll definitely be putting those to use.
Video, I don't think we did. So when we first purchased the boat, it was pretty evident that there was a oil leak somewhere in the engine. You had a smell, but you also had quarts of oil in different compartments of the boat where a previous owner had kept a lot on hand, and it's not a lot of oil that it's leaking, but it's just enough to actually be a leak. Here, we're back in Fort River, and here's where I discover our oil leak is back, and try to make some repairs and talk about it a little bit. Okay. So you saw Lisa earlier take delivery of our grocery delivery. Part of that was this JB Weld marine grade epoxy, because our oil leak is back. Those of you that are familiar with the Universal M25XP, this plate, this gear case cover, made out of aluminum, has a tendency to erode over time, especially when you have a leaky water pump. When we bought the boat, we knew we had an oil leak. As you could tell, it's just a mess down here, and it has been for some time. Once you have a little bit of oil, it takes forever to clean it up. So anyway, the oil pump flange here is just kind of eroded away a little bit. I stacked some gaskets in here when I put the oil pump back on. That didn't really seem to that helped for about 10-15 hours. But ultimately, oil leak came back, especially when we got the boat back from the rudder replacement. We noticed the leak. So, unfortunately, this was the next step. I actually posted in the Catalina 30 owners group, and those guys gave me this idea that this is very common. It's something that happens in a lot of places. A lot of people have this issue. Is to JB Weld all around it and walk away. So that's what we're doing. We JB welded it. It's 2 layers of this epoxy. Either way, the leak is not huge. It's just drips. But it's just something I want to just get rid of and not have to worry about for at least this trip back to Northeast Maryland. But we'll have to see, because we're going to have to get it figured out. And again, those are familiar with the Universals, especially the M25s and 25XPs. The 25s had a really crappy alternator bracket that failed, so a lot of folks went after these gear case covers to replace their old one where their alternator broke off. Well, Universal/Kubota doesn't make this anymore, so that makes it impossible to find. You pretty much have to find them off of scavenged engines and things like that, and they're just increasingly rare to locate. My understanding is Kubota has a couple plates that fit this with some crankshaft bearing changes, but we'll have to figure that out down the road. Right now, this is just a temporary fix that hopefully turns into 2 or 3 years, so we don't have to worry about it. So that's the last project. This is the last thing we were waiting on, or last thing we were doing here at North Branch Yacht in Fort River. We stayed an extra day. We were supposed to go today. I was a little worried about the weather, and I shouldn't have been. Apparently it's really nice outside, 3 to 5s with a real long swell. A motorboat ride today, apparently. Tomorrow is supposed to be even calmer, and probably a little less wind. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I will report back once we give this JB Weld a test here later tonight. So, as you can tell, our oil leak is back, and unfortunately, it's just something that we're going to long-term try to resolve with the JB Weld. Present day Sean could tell you that JB Weld did okay, but it did not completely get rid of the oil leak. So, well, that'll be to be continued. In the meantime, we ended up leaving Fort River and heading on south through Barnegat Light early on I believe on a Tuesday morning?
Yes.
So anyway, on a Tuesday morning, I think it had to be early October, we left Barnegat Light, or the Fort River area, and ultimately the Barnegat Light had a great weather window, bounced out, and took off for roughly a 30 to 40 mile run down to Atlantic City, where we had a wonderful night in the Brigington anchorages, and I will put that a screenshot from Navionics here as well of where I'm talking about. Ultimately, if you are a cruiser and you want to go have a nice experience in Atlantic City, you don't have a 6-foot draft, and you're willing to find a little hidey hole, there's a great place right off the Atlantic City inlet that is super easy to get into, just a little unnerving in a spot, but once you're back there, it is so peaceful. And you'll actually see the time lapse from that anchorage at the end of this video. You still have great views of the city, but it's so protected. You're not going to get smacked around. The water's relatively shallow. You're not going to see much wave action in there. Beautiful, beautiful anchorage. The next day, we go to leave. We pull up to the Golden Nugget and realize that the pumps are not what they should be. They were not self-service, even though they were advertised as such. We ended up waiting for about 3 hours for a dockhand to come up, and by then we were up against our weather and our weather window, and really ultimately running out of light. You don't want to run into any new anchorages or marinas or anything like that without having really well documented information or without good light. And ultimately we ended up staying the night in Atlantic City. Lisa took some really cool clips of that, and we'll show that here.
So we are at the Nugget Inn Marina. I'm not sure if that's the official name or not, but that's where we are. We tried to get fuel today after leaving at Rum Point, and we were there for like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. So by the time we was to reach Cape May, it'd be super dark, and with them dredging like the anchor areas, we were kind of hesitant to go in there. So we just decided we're going to hang out here for the night and, you know, do some laundry, take some showers, all that good fun stuff. But it's actually a really cool marina. You're going to walk, but we have a 2-year-old who could use some walking time. Ainsley, what are we doing? We walking? Say walk.
Walk.
Walk. She's been cooped up on the boat, so this is actually probably pretty awesome that she has some walking time and can do all that stuff. But anyway, I'll try to take you out for a walk later, show you everything. Talk to you in a bit. I made sure there was no one in here, but here's the shower area. Bathrooms. This is off of the J Dock. They have 2 bathrooms, 2 sets of laundry. Just like a little folding area, get ready area it looks like. Looks pretty cool. And then they have 2 dryers, 2 washers. Point activated, obviously. Don't know how much they are. I'll let you know, I guess, when I do some laundry. Hopefully it don't cost a whole lot. It was like $10 in Barnegat when I went, so hopefully it won't be that bad. Anyway, here is laundry and bath.
Next time in This Life Fits, we're going to head on over to Cape May, discover we've not quite sorted out our engine issues just yet, and get ready to make the run up the Delaware River through the C&D Canal up to Northeast Maryland.